Babe, what do we have last on the entertainment news agenda?
Alec Baldwin and Hannah Guiterrez-Reed are charged with involuntary manslaughter for the death of Halen Hutchins.
Hutchins, yeah.
Prosecutors said they were charged Mr. Baldwin with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, saying that he had a duty to ensure the gun and the ammunition were properly checked, and that he should never have pointed it at anyone. You should not point a gun at someone that you're not willing to shoot, the district attorney for Santa Fe County, Mary Carmack-Altwies, said in an interview. That goes to basic safety standards.
When I first made a post about this on TikTok, it was like last year sometime. That was like my first TikTok video that made a lot of views. People had so many opinions on it. And I was on the fence of 50% of the people that are 100% against Baldwin were mostly people that are just mad about his Trump impersonation. Let's just be honest. But they're like, no, you're the person that holding the gun. You're 100% responsible. Like really, on the actor side of it, there's people who are hired to clear these weapons. They're not supposed to be able to fire like a live round, or live rounds should not be being brought in. And so I defended him mostly as on the actor side. But here's the thing. Mm-hmm. He was also the producer.
That's the key point for me.
And you can so whether she's 100% guilty for bringing those live rounds in or not, or being careless or not, she has a defense. That's I don't know how much of a defense is for her, because it still kind of makes her look bad. Because if you want to attack Alec Baldwin, you go, well, if she was this bad and she had all these complaints, if she was so inexperienced, because I think I heard about that, like this is like she didn't have as much experience as her father did. Like it was a situation where, like, my dad kind of got me into the business. Like
I've got a few. So I remember reading about this and reading a few details in regards to that, about her history and her career history. Mm-hmm. Yes, she was sort of considered a newbie, but she had worked with her dad on a lot of movies over a long period of time. This is the first one where she was primary. And the problem that was brought about, that I think will be a part of her defense, is about Alec Baldwin as producer, is he was cutting corners. Right. And he was causing a lot of mayhem for this movie in regards to not wanting certain things to be the way they're supposed to be because it was cheaper.
Right. And you're saying if that's the defense, you think that's the route. It might not make her look good, but it could.
Well, the
on
thing
certain
is,
charges.
When it comes to stuff like this, like in the medical field, he is more like the hospital. Mm-hmm. And when we have nurses that make mistakes and they go, yeah, but this happened because look what the hospital has taken away from us, done to us, that have caused this, the hospital goes,
yeah, I was just about to ask, isn't it easier for the hospital, the powers that be to throw? Yeah,
and it gets placed.
I think that's what's going to happen.
I hope that doesn't happen, because from some of the things that I've read that Alec really set the tone for this movie to kind of be a fuck up because of the money restraints. Like, he was not following proper policies and procedures for this. Now, do I think the gun statement, anybody who points a gun at something, I'm sorry, but that's just stupid, because like, he's acting in a movie where he's got to point a gun at somebody because it's acting in a movie. I'm sorry, this is the most illogical.
It's not his job to get the gunpowder out of the bullet.
Yeah, I'm gonna point it behind me, but I'm. And
to be fair, there's no way in the world that Alec Baldwin would have. I mean, even if he was cutting corners, there's no way in the world he would have given a directive to, hey, mix in with the blanks live rounds. There's no way in the world.
That's the other part that's confusing, because when you read her statement of like the process of what happened, she wasn't doing that.
But live rounds were there. Even the the cops that came.
Who brought the live rounds?
But she's the armorer.
But she may be the armorer, but she can't be responsible for
her armor.
No. For other people potentially sneaking things in.
And if they want to get away, with not being charged, I'm not saying get away with it like as if they're not 100% responsible. What if that's the route that if they were smart, they'd work together and go, did someone else? Because if you looked at the footage of how devastated the picture that him on the phone trying to now that could be that image could be two things. That could be, oh my God, I
He
can't,
is devastated.
I'm devastated over what happened, or it could equally be, oh my God, what is this going to cause? What is this going to do?
Those are both of those things
those
can
are
be
valid
true.
reactions.
Yeah.
But then he started pointing fingers at her. Then she
Correct.
started defending herself and pointing fingers back at him. Now, if they want, now they both have been charged with this this crime equally.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with him being, oh shit, this is going to affect my career long term, and that sucks, and feeling concern for what he caused by out of his hand, because it did happen from him. That's obviously going to affect someone.
Right.
So I believe both things are true at the same time. Do I think that he should have started pointing fingers and taking the blame off of him and all that stuff? Because he's the producer.
I heard that the victim's husband is now a producer of the movie now and is pushing for the movie to be finished because he wants to honor his wife.
I think that's wonderful. I don't have a problem with that.
If I remember reading correctly, him and Baldwin are on good terms. Like, he doesn't blame Baldwin. But that was earlier in the year last year. If new evidence comes out with this investigation now targeting her and Baldwin, if she can prove her case and if he can't defend himself properly, hell, even the victim's husband's support might mine would. If on the spot I believed you and was like, yeah, there's no way Mr. Baldwin could have done it. He's a great guy, I know. And then I find out later during when evidence is brought forth, you cut what corners? Like, dude, this could be real bad for. Like, at first I was like more on Alec's side on the fact that he was just an actor.
Correct.
But then when I started sitting back and going, he was also a producer. Now, a producer hires supposedly hires the right people, and sometimes they hire bad people in that situation, you can place the blame on the people that you've hired. They effed up. You ask them to paint the house blue, they paint the house red. This is not what I paid for.
Yeah.
But if she can prove that he was always cutting corners, like, I don't know how much of a defense that is. You knew I was an idiot, or I'm not saying she's an idiot, but I'm just saying, if that's the defense that's gonna get me off, I'll say, Alec, you knew I was this and that. If I knew that would get me away from being charged, because a lot of people take a plea and they'll plead guilty to something, to a lesser thing, so they won't go to jail for the major thing.
Look at it like this as well. If he's the producer and he's hiring everyone, okay, then you've got him. He hired her as the armorer, okay. So they've got that. She obviously needs to have more than her in her area. Like, it can't just be her.
Right.
So who hired those people? Was she responsible for hiring those people, or was he responsible for hiring those people? If he was responsible for hiring those people and he hired people that weren't a part of that industry before, did not know what they could or couldn't do, and just thought that bullets were bullets, and they brought in live rounds and they fucked that up, that's on him, not her. Because she can't be forced to have someone in her department that she didn't choose and then be responsible for their actions. That has to go on the boss.
But that's only if that's how it works.
That's true, but that's an option. You're assuming that it was her, all of it, because you made a whole story assuming that it was her. Well, I'm making the claim that there could be an additional part to it.
It depends on how that department works. I mean, when a producer hires a director, the director is pretty much the one in charge.
Correct, but he has assistants, he has a second.
But it would still fall. But anything that goes wrong is still mostly the director, because you hire a director to lead and steer your ship,
yes,
and bring the direction and the vision and all of it together. The director has to bring the writers to make sure the writers.
So is it the director's fault for not knowing that those were live rounds? Because if that's your argument, then that would put it on the person who got hurt.
The armory thing is a different beast. That's like saying that would be if there was food poisoning and you tried to blame the director for what the lead caterer did.
Did they hire the caterer and not follow the background? We can make that argument, because it's the same argument you were making earlier.
And it comes back to Baldwin being the producer. If this being her first time taking the lead of this ship in that department was a problem. I mean, I know everybody has to finally, you got to come from your driver's permit and get your license eventually.
Correct.
You got to get out on the road. And if you on the day one, when you first get your driver's license and you hit somebody on day one of driving, you're responsible, not the person who sold you the car.
Yes, that is accurate. And was there a malfunction in the car?
If that's their defense, I mean, if that's
But
their,
was
if
there
that's
a
their
malfunction
defense.
in the car?
What happened in this situation was live rounds were mixed in with the fake rounds.
So, for example, the brakes failed and they ran into someone. Now, why did those brakes fail? Was it something that happened at the dealership? The dealership would be responsible. See, this is why the details of what happened matter.
From what I heard was, I mean, the live rounds that because they were the Armory people were, according to Baldwin's side, were playing around on the job, shooting live rounds between, having fun and stuff out there.
If that's the case, then it is the armor's responsibility because
Because
that is just
Baldwin
now
can't
bringing
control,
in.
That
Well,
negligence.
he can.
He could fire if he found out.
Yeah,
And if he didn't fire when he
found out, that's something.
If they can prove that he knew any of that bad behavior was happening, he's going down.
It's really going to come down to probably text messages, emails,
Details.
timelines, so that you can see
The whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you hope that you have those written things, those pictures, those photos, so that you can say, look, I did ask you this, I did tell you this, I did do this, and you ignored me, or you said okay, or whatever.
But
that
even
it's not just a verbal, well,
Correct.
I did, and they're like, no, you didn't.
So, and I agree with you on that. But even as the boss, if he's like, well, I told you this, but he didn't take any actions.
If they can prove that,
That's
then
what
he's
I'm
going
saying.
down.
Yeah, I'm saying on either side.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Because even
that
me
you
as a-
hope that you
yeah.
have.
If I don't follow policies and procedures
Those-
whenever I've got a problem with an employee.
You hope you have
Yeah.
that documentation
Yes.
somewhere.
Yes.
So that you can say, no,
there's also like NDAs and stuff like that or say, like on the last story, like they signed before they all got caught with this I feel like if that scandal didn't blow up, none of those people would have been fired or disciplined that hard. They might have gotten suspended or disciplined a little bit, but maybe not fired. But when they got caught and it blew up the way it blew up, the first thing that the department did was show that they signed a sexual harassment thing.
Yeah.
So if Baldwin has anything like that, like you said, on email or something like that, where he says, make sure you're always 100% safe. I'm not going to hold your hand through this. You're the armorer.
Well,
and if she signed it or something,
it's
he's
on
going to
both,
get out
on
like
both
that.
sides. You hope whatever was going on, you got it written, copied somewhere, something.
Yeah.
And that's what, I mean.
You're right. I think
As a nurse,
Yeah.
that's what they always tell us. If you didn't write it down,
it
Did not happen.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
As a realtor, nothing. What we always said. Nothing that is said to you verbally that conflict that goes against what's on the contract is legal. A lot is going to stand. It doesn't matter if I told you. It's okay if you pay your rent on the 6th. The contract says your rent is due by no later than the 3rd.
Yep.
And the late fees start on the 4th.
Yep.
But Chris told me to pay on the 6th. Well, why'd you listen? Because
I agree.
I'm not Chris, and I'm gonna charge you.
Us old nurses tell the young nurses, oh, well, when they say, oh, well, Dr. So-and-so always says I can do this and they don't care. Is that written somewhere? Because trust me, 100%, if something happens, they will throw you under the bus.
Dr.
if it
So-and-so
is not
says it's all
written
your fault.
somewhere, because
The go-to at my track. Well,
must be written.
my kid races dirt bikes, even though he's not tall enough to get onto the go-kart. So when he gets in and he hurts another person because he's not tall enough and he's not being able to reach properly, who are you going to sue and who are they going to sue? Not you,
Right.
but me.
Right.
So no,
Ain't
like
gonna happen.
it's following policies and procedures are the biggest thing.
Happen, not gonna. If anybody needs a little bit of a commercial break, a break to go to the bathroom or something, we're gonna have a moment for that. So.
Is Tink Tink saying he's gonna
No,
go
I
potty?
don't. I'm good. I'm surprised on how good I am. I thought you've been liquid up, so I thought.
I mean, I might
thought
have to
you-
pee, but I can make it through the show.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
I got a bladder of
All right.
steel.
All right. Now let's get to the next topic, which is us singing "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls."
I do know that whole song though.
Yeah.
it's karaoke night.
Yeah. Exactly. Come on,
Don't
rivers
go
and the lakes.
chasing I can do that whole song.
As she drinks her tea.
Don't make me sing, please. Guys, that's the end of this episode of The Rundown. Remember to like this video, become a subscriber, and share. This really does help us out. And click here or here. Thanks for watching.